Hey y'all, what's good? What's good? How's everybody doing this Sunday evening? How was your day? Did anybody cook any Sunday dinners? All right, so I am going to be doing another review on the second episode of the Auntie podcast, and the guests were Ms.Netta and Charles. But before I get into that, I wanted to make an announcement. So I am now casting for the upcoming TV reality show, Plus Size Baddies. We're gonna start filming in April, so spring of 2025. We're gonna start the filming, and we are looking for plus size ladies ages 21 to 37. You can submit your application online. The link will be in the description of the video. Submit your application along with your best headshot and a video. In the video, just basically state your name, age, where you're from, and why you choose to be on Plus Size Baddies. Now, what I am looking for is outgoing, energetic, funny, and authentic women. What we don't want is boring in your video. We want to see what you're going to bring to the screen. So if you want to get chose to be on the show, you got to turn it up. A lot of video submissions that I have been receiving, it's like they're talking like, like you're in an interview. That in your video, what we're going to do with your video is we're posting it on social media, and we're asking for our followers to pretty much vote on who they want to see on the show. So if you want to get your votes up there and you want to get picked to be on the show, you got to give them a reason to want to say, hey, I would like to see her on the show. But if you're just going to talk regular, like you're basically like you're in an interview and you coming off boring, your 9 chances out of 10 are not going to get picked. And I just want to clarify on the age for this season, we are looking for women 21 to 37. It's not set in stone yet, but we may do a Cougars edition. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay, so now getting into the Auntie podcast. So it starts off in the beginning where Tokyo Tony, Carlissa, and Tia were talking. And they were just kind of like talking about enema. I guess wondering if Charles and Ms.Netta uses enema, things of that nature. And then they bring Charles and Ms.Netta out. Ms.Netta tells how her and Charles met. They met on the dating site Tag. And then they go off into Carlissa brings up that I guess Charles must have DM'd her sister or something. And Ms.Netta says Charles doesn't cheat. Charles, so one thing that I didn't understand is Carlissa brings it up, and the way she brings it up and throws it out there is like she had proof, because it was like she was challenging him, like pull your phone out, or like she act like she had the evidence like on her phone or something, and she never did. So I don't know if that was made up or just to call a bluff. Maybe she feels like he cheats on Ms.Netta, because I kind of got that from them, is that they feel like he's probably a cheater, and maybe he's not really into Ms.Netta, that he's I don't know. That's just kind of what I got out of it, and I didn't understand why Carlissa would bring that up if she wasn't going to show the proof. So then sometime later in the show, Charles challenges Carlissa to show the proof. And like I said, she never did. All right. So then Tia asks, they asked some of the off the wall questions. She asks, who tastes the D? Ms.Netta responds with, who you think is taking the D? You know what I'm saying? So They also asked Miss Netta, does she think that he wants some warm coochie sometimes? Um, Miss Netta seems to think that she has it sold in the bag, so she feels like she's got him, and he's pretty much not going nowhere. He's hers, is what I get from her. So then Carlissa goes on to ask if he's been snipped, if Miss Netta has gotten snipped. And she says no. She just got the BBL done. She got her boobs done, but that is still there. She still has that. And then now I want to know why Mr. Cepho would allow Carlissa to come on TV in lingerie. Like, I didn't even get the whole point of that. Even if she wasn't married, why are you on there in lingerie? I didn't get that. Like, she's the only one sitting there in lingerie. Everybody else is fully clothed, and she's the only one sitting there in lingerie. I didn't get that. So then Tokyo Tony lets it be known that Charles was never straight, because Ms. Netta was saying that when she met him on the dating site, he was straight. Tokyo Tonio is like, no, he was never straight. And I agree. I have to agree with Tokyo Tony, because if a man starts to date another man, he was never straight. So this notion that some people have that a gay man can take a man from that's straight from a woman, he was never straight. He's always had those thoughts, or he was in the closet. Either way, he was never straight. That's just my personal opinion, and I'll take that to my grave. So Tokyo Tony was throwing her shots at Carlissa, and she told her that she looked like Miss Netta. Carlissa didn't like that too well. She basically was like, you always trying to do something to go viral. She didn't like it. But it's like she got offended. She kind of took offense to it, but all through the show, she kept telling Miss Netta that she looked good. So I don't know. Carlissa, she's fake anyway, so you never know with her. So then they asked Charles if he was an opportunist. And I think that's a good question, because I myself wondered that. Is he just there, for the viralness, like going viral on social media? Of course, they running up the bag. So, you know what I'm saying? He looks like she'd be dressing. He could have dressed a little bit better for this interview. And speaking of that, Tia calls Miss Netta out on her wig, because it definitely was not glued down. I don't know if they got a manager, or I don't know if they got a makeup person, whatever. But honey, she could have did her wig a little better than that, and Charles could have dressed a little bit better than what he was to be on TV. That's just my personal opinion. All right, so I like Tia, because Tia she be calling it out, and she's just bold with it, But Tony asked Charles, who was he before the internet? And I don't remember ever getting, I'm going to have to watch it again, because I'm not sure if he ever answered that. But I do know that a lot of times when they ask guests questions, before they can actually get the answer, another one of the hosts will jump in and start talking about something else or ask another question. So a lot of times you don't never really get the full answers that you want from the guests. And also Miss Netta, she kind of does a lot of talking too. Like she talks a lot. But when Tony asked Charles who was he before the internet, then Tia says, in the closet. And she's funny as hell. Like, she's funny. All right, so Charles tells Miss Netta to shut up, and Tia was like, boy, like she was about to get up and get with him. Like, she didn't like that. She felt like it was disrespectful, and it was, because he was like, shut up, and he kind of waved his hand in her face. And then Miss Netta kind of wanted to kind of play it off like, this is how we play with each other, and he kind of co-signed. But I don't know. I felt like it was a little disrespectful in my personal opinion. Tia immediately checked it, and then of course Carlissa and Tokyo Tony, they jump in on them too, or whatever. Um, but listening and watching Miss Netta, she gives the Lulu. She gives the Lulu to me. She comes off like she's on Beyonce's level. Like she really thinks that she's a celebrity. She's gone viral. I'll give her that. She's gone viral on social media, but she is not celebrity status. She is not celebrity status. But one comment she made, and I would like to know what other people's point of view of this is that she says that black women hate on her because they're single. And it's like, okay, because I definitely don't hate on you. I don't hate on her at all. I have nothing to say about her, but I definitely wouldn't be mad because she's with Charles. I mean, he would never be my type. And he gives a little special to me. So I'm gonna just leave that at that. Um Charles told the aunties that they need to know their place. See, and as the show went on, because in the beginning he kind of was a little bit laid back and a little bit quiet. He would say things here and there, but as the show went on, he kind of was coming out and showing like his true colors. When he said that, I'm like, yeah, he's disrespectful. He's disrespectful as hell. So I think that Miss Netta puts up her facade. I don't like what we see on social media and all of that. I think that's just for social media. I think when those cameras goes off, it's a different story. Because if he could sit there and talk like that and say the things that he says, trust me, that's the real him. And I think that Carlissa, Tokyo, Tony, and Tia, I think they all know it. That's why they kept asking the questions that they were asking. Because it's like, you know how you can just kind of read through somebody, and that's just pretty much what I think they were doing. They could read right through him. So then Tokyo Tony decides to start being messy and instigating because when well, maybe Tokyo Tony didn't jump on his case when he told her to shut up, because then she starts coming at him like at Miss Netta, not Charles, but Miss Netta, she starts coming at her like uh basically saying like, you don't let no bees, check your man and this and that, and telling her that she should have got up and put pause on them, which I disagree, because at the end of the day, we all know what she really is, so that would have been wrong. And I don't know why Tokyo Tony would say that. Maybe she just, I don't know, maybe want to stir up the pot for the views. I don't really know. Then they get to calling him out. Tia talks calls him out about his Air Force Ones. Then they start calling him out about their fake merch, like their clothing. They was asking Miss Netta about her purse and all of this and that. But overall, I think that this episode was way better than the first episode last Sunday, because that episode was a hot mess. It was all over the place. They really didn't get any good commentary. It was like they asked questions. Tokyo Tony took them off, onto something else because she was flirting with the game the whole time. They were talking over each other, and it was just a lot. But I liked it this episode a little better. I can say that. I do think that they still need to work on their over talking each other. That's the only thing. Like, ask the question, let the guests answer, and then maybe like one of the other hosts can ask a question, and then just kind of go back and forth like that to give it some structure. But I will say they did get a lot better this time. I did see the previews for next Sunday when they're gonna have Rolly, Scotty, and I'm thinking Natalie is going to be on there, and that one looks like it's going to be pretty good. So I'll be doing a review on that one. So stay tuned for that. And yes, so that's gonna bring my review to an end. You guys don't forget to tag all plus size baddies 21 to 37. You guys can go follow my pages on Instagram at Queens underscore talk underscore TV underscore or plus underscore baddies underscore, and baddies is spelled BADDEES. No, I'm sorry, plus size baddies, and there's underscore in between each word and at the end of baddies on Instagram. You can also go and follow me on Plus Size Baddies on Facebook or Queens Talk TV on Facebook, and you can submit the application online. The link will be in the description. You can go onto my website and you can submit your application right there. Submit your application with your best headshot and in a video. In your video, I just want to know your name, your age, where you're from, and why you want to be a plus size baddie. But what I want is energy. I don't want boring, like you're doing a job interview. I want to see, am I getting somebody that's going to be funny, somebody that's going to have the high energy, somebody that's going to turn up, somebody that's going to have fun. I've gotten so many submissions, as I said in the beginning, and I'm sorry, I'm not too happy with any of them. So yeah, just catch me later. You guys all have a good rest of your night, and that's gonna be it. Thank you.